All right, let's get started because I'm skipping that preview video thing, the countdown. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday, hump day. Where you can't show things on Twitter because obviously some sex things will pop up. But anyway, a lot to talk about today, a lot of news. So I'm going to kind of go lightning around the whole show just so I can fit everything in because there's a lot going on. So, and that's it. The pre-intro is over. How about playing the regular intro, Johnny? Let's go. Play it now.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
All right, sounds about right. Shall we get it started? Let's get it started. That kind of fit, didn't it? Anyway, stop that. Thank you for doing that. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. And welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel, where we talk about things that are happening around the world from a perspective of some brother sitting in his what am I trying to say? Gosh, I feel like John Fetterman. Basement studio, just because we do, and it's things to talk about and gives you things to talk about. And sometimes I talk about things before anybody else does. There's a couple items on the list today that I talked about weeks ago, and they showed up in major newspapers today. So anyway, let's talk about the debt ceiling soon. 15 minutes. Oh boy. Yeah. I haven't talked a whole lot about the debt ceiling fight. It's the same shit that every time they have a debt ceiling fight. Democrats like to spend more money, and Republicans finally decide that they're going to talk about spending money when they are just as responsible for the debt problem as Democrats, because they won't put their foot down and because they're pussies. And because, you know what? In a democracy, it often turns out, as it does, people like to spend other people's money. If they figure out that they can vote to spend somebody else's money to pay for shit they want, they will do it. And it's epidemic proportions, excuse me. And so I don't know. We'll just keep they keep the printer business in business. So there you go. Anyway, let's say hi. Got my cup of coffee as usual. And we're going to get it going. First in chat on Rumble, Avocados Diablo gets the bell. Thank you, sir. We're jumping in there. Also, good morning, Septus Wolf, Mike Savage, Blarg, and Jimmy Das Hotep from Hotep Nation. Also, on the YouTube side, Avocados Diablo, Bell. I know you're not the super there yet. I don't know. There's bells and whistles and horns. And you get it all, sir. Also, good morning to my favorite Canadian, Jaeger Ponies in the house. Chicago Bikes here, Special K on Acid. Blackkeeper is your light.
That's right.
Nice to have you back. Mike Savage, Blarg. Sarah's in the house. Jimmy Das Hotep. We already did it once, but I'm doing it again. Also, good morning, Tyrannus. Alexandrius. Invictus. Good morning, Simon Wolfwood. I wonder if anyone gets upset that I do that. I give this big intro for some people, and some people say, hello. But it's just cause. It's just, I don't know. If I give you a theme song, you want. Cannibalistic Wizard showed up over on Rumble. Also, Next Gen Troll, by the way. Good morning to y'all. Also, let's see. I was at Tribute Liberty's in the house. What's up, my brother? Maddie's in the house. Okay, there it goes. You get it because Maddie and Ronan drive truck and stuff. Anyway, Rod Corpse, good morning. Gulf City, DCC, Blink 182, Crack Shots in the house, and lots of people are showing up now. Let's see who's down here. I got Crack Shot. I got Sarah. Oh, Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Hey, my friend. Sarah, did I mention we're going to be in? Well, I don't know. You were in northern Michigan though. Weren't you? In the more southern part of Michigan when you lived in Michigan? I know you're in Ohio now, but unfortunately we're not going that way to get there. We're going up through Wisconsin and and going through the North Mission to get to where we're going, because we're going to go to Mackinac Island or Mackinac City and all that over the Memorial Day weekend. Anyway, fake news expert, hello, Woodcutter. Did anyone else hear him say, I'm going to try and fit in all of these sex things? No, I did not say that. Well, you know. Oh, you live near Detroit. Yeah, so, okay, you didn't live that far north. In fact, you lived east, because Detroit's east, right? Northeast in Michigan. I think I got my geography right. So, and Tall Person's here. What's happening? Nice to see you. All right, let's get it going, because, like I said, it's the whole day is going to be kind of a lightning round, because I want to just get through everything. I've been so lax in getting through all this stuff. Real quick, though, before I do, this is very important to me that I say thank you to the people who are contributing to the success of this show. Thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep, Tyler F, retweeting my tweet, and Jimmy Das even puts out his own tweet about the show. Thank you for sharing the Southeast, Detroit Southeast, because it's like, no, I know it's near, what's the Canadian town with all the strip joints across the way from Detroit? I can't remember the name of that town. Anyway, Southeast Michigan. I know it's east. I just knew it wasn't anywhere near where we're going. Let's see. And why do I know? What's the town with Windsor? Yes, Windsor, the town with all the strip joints. That's what, and I don't know that because I've never been to Windsor, but my friends were in Detroit one time and they were laughing because they drive over to Windsor and go to all the strip joints. Anyway, and I don't know why, what's the difference between a Detroit strip joint and a Windsor strip joint? I don't know. Anyway, thank you, Maddie, for tweeting out the show. Sarah tweeted out the show. I appreciate every one of you who does it. So there you go. And then did someone just pop in that I didn't see already? I lived in SSM for a while. Lovely place. But got to go to Kanakistan for shit too often. What's SSM? Something Michigan's. You meant Southeast Michigan? I don't know. Didn't go there, but wanted to. Less meth. Oh, that's the difference between. That's the difference between Detroit strippers and what was it? Windsor strippers. Less meth. Or Windsor strippers have to do less meth. Okay, that's funny. Good morning, Don Julio Guff, City Biker and Trash Man, and Annal Inn. What's up? And also probably 50 pounds per stripper. Oh, damn. That's unfortunate. I should have given you this horn. But anyway, okay, let's start the show because there's some basic news, and then there's news that I want to talk about. More revelations in the Durham files that they're starting to get, as people start to see the details. So we'll get through a couple of those and then pop through a bunch of news. But some of the stuff that's I don't say trending necessarily, but things that are prominent in the news, or at least for some reason, news outlets thought this was important. CNN put out an article this morning. This is CNN. Stating that apparently more than 1 in 6 adults have depression as rates rise to record levels in the U.S., according to a survey. Now, I can't imagine why, because isn't the Biden economy the best economy, and everyone's working and everyone's happy, and all the people are making more and more money, and even though inflation's rising faster than that. But I thought living in the Biden, Biden's America was the best thing since sliced bread and Windsor strippers. But I guess not. Depression is more widespread than ever in the United States. According to a new report from Gallup, about 18% of adults, more than 1 in 6, say they are depressed or receiving treatment for depression, a jump of more than 7 percentage points since 2015. Now, I wonder, is it because people are more depressed, or people are more being diagnosed more with depression, and the pharmaceutical companies are doing their best to fulfill the needs of more depressed people by giving more drugs? I don't know. Anyway, it's a jump of more than 7 percentage points since 2015, when Gallup first started polling on the topic. Now, I have a theory on this too. Okay, I think the theory is that we have a society that values values oppression, so to speak, and not the oppressors, but the oppressees, the oppressed. And because, in depression, everyone's got to find a reason why things are bad so they can be an oppressed class. And so, but then they realize it sucks being an oppressed class, even if you only think of it in your mind. And also just people telling you how shitty they is. So I don't know, that could be a part of it. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic took an undeniable toll on mental health. Rates of clinical depression had been rising steadily in the U.S., but jumped notably in recent years, Gallup data shows. So certainly all the BS everyone went through during COVID did not help, okay? The fact that Americans are more depressed and struggling from this time from incredible stress and isolation is perhaps not surprising, said someone named Rebecca Brendel, president of the American Psychiatric Association, which is not involved in the new research. Why? Which was not involved in the new research? Oh, okay, this is just somebody else. There are lingering effects on our health, especially our mental health, from the past 3 years that disrupted everything we knew. Well, yeah, and Biden is fucking up the country. Okay, well, there's actually a collective effort in Washington, D.C. to fuck up the country. But there you go. That's interesting. There's a lot more to the article, but I just wanted to bring you the headline. Also, in the headlines, ABC News says that Meghan Markle steps out in gold to receive award in New York City. Get a rope. Now, why did Meghan Markle receive an award? Well, you want the truth, or do you want why they say they gave her the award? The truth is because she's the cause celeb for the left, and her, a woman of color bucking the trek. Oh, wait a minute. I should have said this. I should have said this the right way. She's a woman of color bucking Buckingham. But let's see why they gave her award. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, sparkled in gold Tuesday night as she stepped out to accept an award in New York City. Accompanied by her mom, Daria Ragland, and her husband, Prince Harry, Meghan received the Ms., as in Ms. Magazine, Foundation Women's of Vision Award at the foundation's annual gala at the Ziegfeld Ballroom. The Ms. Foundation for Women is co-founded by feminist icon and activist Gloria Steinem, a friend of Meghan's. Oh, who presented her with the award. I can't imagine why they would give Meghan Markle, Gloria Steinem's friend, an award from Ms. Magazine. Good morning, now what? My friend from high school, welcome. She's acting like she's a hoe. Yes, I'm sure that's it too. So anyway, let's see. Meghan received the award for her, quote, global gosh. I really am getting that. What's that guy? Not Feinstein. She has dementia too. Fetterman? I'm having a Fetterman moment. I'm having a Joe Biden moment. I don't know. Okay, let's try this again. Meghan received the award for her, quote, global advocacy to empower and advocate on behalf of women and girls, end quote. Really? Has she? I have no idea what she does. All I know is she complains a lot in the media about being downtrodden. She's a victim. She's oppressed by she's bucking Buckingham. Let's just leave it at that. Anyway, in addition to the Duchess, the other honorees on a Tuesday ceremony included Wanda Irving, co-founder of Dr. Shalom Maternal Action Project, Kimberly Inez McGuire, executive director of URGE, U-R-G-E, I have no idea, and activist Latasha Brown. Wait, what? Olivia Juliana and Rebecca Brushoff, who are recognized for their impact on the gender justice movement, according to the foundation. The gender justice movement. I didn't know there was a gender justice movement. I know there's trans rights activists and But I did not know that. I did. Otherwise, as my friend Jericho Green says, the Ku Klux Trans. Anyway, let's see. In accepting her award, Megan told attendees, "Because of this foundation, so many of our youth have been instilled with self-worth and limited possibility, no matter their race, gender, class, sexual orientation, disability, or age." You know what? Do you know why I think maybe our youth are having issues with self-worth and are maybe considering that they don't believe they have limited possibilities? Because we keep telling them they're oppressed or there's something wrong with them, instead of just saying, or we're affirming their delusions, instead of just telling them, you know what, you're just fine the way you are. Just keep plugging along and do your best and work hard and you will succeed in life. But no, we tell them, oh no, someone's trying to hold you down. Someone's trying to hurt you. Someone's trying to do this. Someone's trying to do that. I hope maybe she's encouraging that. I don't know. But I'm not sure. She's getting an award because she's married to Prince Harry and she's bucking Buckingham. That's why she's getting an award. Everything else is bullshit. Whatever. And, I mean, she's a lovely young lady in certain angles, and I'm not sure about that dress. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not a fashion guy. I'm not gay. I'm not anything. But that dress is hideous. What the hell is that? It looks like someone spray painted some bubble wrap. I'm sorry. It's weird looking dress. Okay, enough of Meghan Markle. Moving on. Representative Lauren Boebert files for divorce from her husband of 18 years. This is interesting because the lefties are just ecstatic that they can make fun of Lauren Boebert for getting a divorce because, Lauren Boebert, her whole thing is family values and now she's getting divorced. Well, I don't know why they're getting divorced. Who knows? The color didn't suit her either. That's a bad color. And allegedly, Truth Social just posted that the Markles were just involved in a near tragic traffic accident, escaping from the paparazzi. Oh, really? Now I don't know. We'll have to see if that shows up in the news. That'd be ironic and awful if anything had happened badly to them. But because now, oh my gosh, somebody answer me this. The Royals have kind of a Clinton issue in their history too, because I know the stuff with Diana and stuff. Anyway. Colorado Representative Lauren Boebert has filed for divorce from her husband of 18 years, the Congresswoman announced on Tuesday. "It is with a heavy weight on my heart that I have filed for divorce from my husband. I am grateful for our years of marriage together and for our beautiful children, all of whom deserve privacy and love as we work through this process," Boebert said in a statement to the Post. Boebert, 36, and her husband Jason were married in 2005 and share 4 children together. "I've always been faithful in my marriage, and I believe strongly in marriage, which makes this announcement that much more difficult. This is truly about irreconcilable differences," the firebrand conservative continued. She said she will not comment further on the divorce out of respect for her children. Will continue to work hard to represent the people of Colorado's 3rd district. So, the lefties are overjoyed by this and they're going to trash her and whatever, because they don't like her. And sometimes she's a little goofy, but sometimes she makes sense and is what it is. So that's unfortunate for Ms. Boebert. Anyway, moving on. Jacksonville's trending on Twitter today because there was a mayoral race in Jacksonville, and there's a new Democrat mayor in Jacksonville. It's the largest city, Republican city. It's right in DeSantis country, the heart of DeSantis country in Florida. And so people are just, making their hay on this news. And it kind of, here's what's crazy about it. They're like only 32% of the vote turned out. And Jacksonville's generally a very, very Republican city. But with only 32% of the vote turning out, and the new mayor to be elect, whatever, got like barely won the race with 32% of the vote. So that's another case of Republicans sucking at getting out the vote. So whatever. They learn your lessons, Republicans. You sure aren't very good at outreach and getting people out to vote. Might want to get better at that. That's your, because, and look, they won. She barely won the race. And yet, and again, turnout was only 33%, which is, I guess, higher than normal anyway. But because Democrats have targets on every Republican in the country. So y'all better get your shit together. That's all I got to say. Moving on. In Georgia, the Department of Justice apparently is settling a discrimination case after a bus stop of mostly black student athletes. I don't know if you remember this. Apparently what was it? Delaware State University, the U.S. Department of Justice has reached agreement with the Liberty County Sheriff's Office in Georgia to settle a racial discrimination complaint related to deputies stopping a bus of mostly black athletes from Delaware State University last year. Under the agreement, the Sheriff's Office will review its bias-free policing policies, make necessary updates to its policies on traffic enforcement and searches, and develop and implement data collection procedures, among other provisions, according to the DOJ release. Now that's weird. I wonder if Delaware State will sue the state of Georgia or that county. Anyway, Delaware State lodged a complaint after deputies stopped a bus carrying the women's lacrosse team. They had been motoring along Interstate 95 on April 20th, 2022, a day after playing at Stetson University in Florida, when deputies pulled over the bus for traveling improperly into the left lane. They subsequently searched luggage stored in the compartment under the bus after a canine alerted on the bus, found no contraband. So, interesting. So maybe perhaps they really didn't do anything improper, but people complained anyway. Good morning, Selected Boy.
Yeah, boy.
So anyway, and the canine alert on the bus. So look, a canine will alert on pot, for example. And so even if there was no pot, there's enough left of, if someone smokes pot on the bus or whatever, or the bus is a pot smoker, and they had anything that had that smell, the dog's going to alert. So I don't know. Now, Delaware State alleged the stop, questioning, and search was unlawful racial discrimination under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act, which prevents organizations that receive federal funding from discriminating on the basis of race. The Sheriff's Office receives federal fund from the Department of Justice. The students and staff at Delaware State University deserve policing that is racially equitable and bias-free. Assistant Attorney, look. I don't know why this happened. All I know is perhaps they can blame their bus driver for whatever they did. I don't know. Usually, now I don't know what kind of bus they were in either. Because, I don't imagine that, for example, those charter buses you get, right? They're way up high. No one can really look. You can't see what's going on in the bus. Oh my God, Advocatus Diabli. That was unnecessary. Jesus Christ. So I don't know. I don't know what happened in this case, but they complained because they were black. I don't know why they had dogs out anyway. That doesn't even make sense, but it's a charter bus. In fact, here it is. You can't see who's in a charter bus, especially with the dark windows in a charter bus. So who knows? If the bus crossed the line, then they should blame their damn bus driver. But, and I hope it was. I can't say whether or not this was a racial issue, but I hope it wasn't. Moving on. What is this? I don't know what this is. I was watching a couple funny videos, and wasn't all that funny. All right, let's get into the Durham report. Now, I put this here. Let me do this. Before I move on, Just a reminder, the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. If you haven't done so already, please share the stream with those that you love, or those that you don't love, or those that just kind of happen to be wherever you are on social media. Also, if you can hit the like button sometime during the show, because, you're here, you might as well, right? And if you want to sponsor the show from a monetary standpoint, the best way to do it, as pdognight.live, or the link that shows up in the chat, which takes you to the Streamlabs donation page, where you can do it there, or you can do YouTube Super Chats and or Rumble Rants, or there's a couple of the options in the description down below. The advantage to using the pdognight.live or Streamlabs links is you don't have to have a special dollar amount to type in a bunch of words. Okay, if you put $2 or $200, you can type in the same amount of words. So that's the advantage there, because YouTube, if you $2, you get like 50 characters, which you can barely write a sentence with 50 characters. All right, enough of that. Let's move on to what we are going to talk about today, the main topic of the day, and that is the Durham report that came out. Now, there's some new, every day we're going to learn new things that were in the report, unless you read the entire report yourself, all 300 pages, which I have not done, but I rely on certain people in the media to read the report for me, and then I can just report by cheating and using the cheat sheets that they put in the newspaper or websites or whatever they do. So let's find, there's a few new revelations that have come out over the last 24 hours. And here we go. The Durham report. Apparently, Joe Biden was briefed on alleged Clinton plan to tie Trump to Russia. Well, we kind of already knew that. We heard about the meeting between John Brennan and Barack Obama, Vice President Biden, and what's his face? That Comey dude, that dude. Hi, John Arnott. Nice to see you. Anyway, so here we go. President Biden was briefed in 2016 about an alleged plan by Hillary Clinton to tie former President Donald Trump to Russia to distract her from her own use of an illicit private email server. While Secretary of State, according to Special Counsel John Durham, Durham's new 306-page report harshly criticized the FBI Crossfire Hurricane investigation into baseless claims of collusion between Trump and Russia during the 2016 presidential campaign. Durham found the Bureau's rush to investigate Trump was markedly different from the FBI's action with respect to other highly significant intelligence it received from a trusted foreign source, pointing to a Clinton campaign to vilify Trump by tying him to Vladimir Putin. So we kind of caught that in the report as we saw some of the things that came out about it. Biden, while President Barack Obama's vice president, was briefed on what Durham dubbed the Clinton plan intelligence. In the summer of 2016, the intelligence concerned the purported approval by Hillary Clinton on July 26, 2016, of a proposal from one of her foreign policy advisors to, quote, stir up a scandal, end quote, against Trump by tying him to Putin and Russian hacking of the Democratic National Committee. So, in other words, when they were having the presidential debates in 2020, didn't Biden say something about how he didn't know anything about it? Hell, he was briefed, and we know that now. In fact, we knew it back in 2016. He knew it back in 2016. In fact, Hillary Clinton knew about her plan during the debates that she had with Donald Trump. So what I can't figure out about all of this is, how is it that Durham can write this report, and we keep hearing all about this, election interference, 2016 by the Russians, blah, 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 blah. And he writes this report saying that Hillary Clinton had a plan to basically lie to the FBI or plant information to the FBI that she knew was complete bullshit the whole time. And there are no consequences for that for her at all, other than the fact that she will never be president. I mean, that's that's the best part of it all, because even through her stupid little plan, she will never be president of the United States, and that's great. So, but how is it that nobody involved in all of this is going to jail? I mean, granted, the current Justice Department ain't going to do shit about this, but it's just amazing that these people get away with this. John Brennan, how does he get away with it? James Comey, how does he get away with it? How does any of the who's the National Security Advisor? Not NSA, the other guy. I don't know. Any of these people knew that this was all bullshit, and we spent almost $100 million investigating Trump and all this other stuff. It's just uncanny that this happened. Hello, those ain't real, dude. And Reaction Puerto Rico. So, because they're thick as thieves. Yeah, they're all interconnected, and Donald Trump's not part of the club, you know? So that's how they get away with it. So, a couple other things that came out in the last couple days, or in the last day or so. Also in the Washington Examiner, Durham report says Steele dossier may have been compromised by the Russians before the FBI used it. Shocker, right? Shocker. Here we go. Let's see. Special Counsel John Durham's new report warned Christopher Steele's discredited dossier may have been infected by Russian disinformation before the FBI relied on it. While Durham's year-long investigation provided substantial evidence that many of the biggest Trump-Russia collusion claims could be traced back to the Clinton campaign, the Democratic operatives, his new report also repeatedly raised the possibility that the dossier at the heart of the collusion claims contained Russian disinformation. Wow! So rather than colluding with the Russians were working against Donald Trump. Oh, what a tangled web. Russian intelligence knew of Steele's election investigation for the Clinton campaign by no later than early July 2016. Durham's new report concluded. Thus, Steele's sources may have been compromised by the Russians at the time prior to the creation of the Steele reports and throughout the FBI's Crossfire Hurricane investigation. Durham warned that the Russians were cognizant of Steele's election-related reporting. Steele was working for Vladimir Putin-linked oligarch Oleg Deripaska before, during, and after his time he targeted Trump, who was then a candidate. And the former MI6 agent was hired to put a dossier together by an opposition research firm, Fusion GPS, which was simultaneously working for Kremlin-linked lawyer Natalia Veselnitskaya. I'm sorry. Sorry to my Russian friends. I just, I don't have any Russian friends, but anyone who speaks Russian, I butchered that, who attended the June 2016 Trump Tower meeting that was billed as a chance to offer dirt on the Clinton campaign. Hillary Clinton's campaign through Mark Elias hired Fusion in 2016. We knew all this. We knew this was all crap. Real quick. Thank you, Jimmy Hotep, first sponsor of the day, which makes you...
You are
the new Streamlab Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, Jimmy Hotep, who says, not a plan, they followed through. Is it this election meddling, maybe even treason, using the federal government to affect an election through lies? They went through with it. Yes, they did, 100%. 100%. It's funny. We had all these investigations and all this other stuff, claiming that, Donald Trump is a Russian agent, this and that. And it turns out they were the ones actually meddling with the election. It's unbelievable. And now it's, but when they were investigating Donald Trump for it, they were investigating a crime. But now that it's the other side who did it, oh no, this is just, no big deal. We just poo-poo. No one should be, no one prosecute. We're not going to prosecute anybody, In fact, Donald Trump, and we insist that Donald Trump still colluded with the Russians over 100 meetings. This and that, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, right. Sure, why not? So anyway, so that's another one. And they go into a lot of detail on this and on what's in the report. If you want to read that. Also, another revelation, the pencil-necked one. Yes, the pencil-necked one, Adam Schiff. Apparently, Schiff aide threatened researchers who refuse to investigate false Trump-Russia links. So, Special Counsel John Durham's report reveals Democratic efforts to push the Alpha Bank conspiracy. Remember that one? Staffers for Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff and Senator Jack Reed threatened, and I'll say it again, threatened two university researchers to force them to help with an investigation into former President Donald Trump's ties to Russia, the researchers told Special Counsel John Durham. Now, granted, it was not Adam Schiff himself or Senator Jack Reed himself, but the staffers for Adam Schiff and Senator Jack Reed, which I'm sure was pushed by Adam Schiff and Senator Jack Reed. Anyway, the researchers from Georgia Tech University told Durham that they were invited to Washington, D.C. in November 2018 to provide what they thought was a briefing about the school's federal research contracts. Instead, they were lured into a meeting with staff members working for Schiff at the House Intelligence Committee and for Reed, the top Democrat on the Senate Armed Services Committee. The researchers said the Democratic staffers asked them to analyze a news article about alleged links between Trump's company and Russia's Alpha Bank. When they balked at the request because it was inappropriate conduct for a public university, the Democratic staffers issued what one researcher believed was a mild threat. A staffer for Reed told the researchers that we are now in charge, and a staffer for Schiff pointed out the Democrat would soon take over as chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, one researcher told Durham. So they basically said, hey, you better watch P's and Q's. You know who I am? You know who I am and how much power I have over you? That's how I interpret that. Anyway, Durham's office investigated whether the Democrats' pressure campaign merited prosecution for contract fraud and or abuse of government resources, though no charges were filed. Yeah, they're not charging files on anybody. Do you think if this were the other way around, do you think Democrats would have subpoenas and indictments and everything that they could pull out of their pine parts and be, running all over town with them? Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Anyway, let's see. The revelations marks just another black eye for Schiff in his failed quest to establish ties between Trump and Russia. No. They weren't failed ties. Adam Schiff had the smoking gun evidence that there was a tie between. Wait a minute, what? He never came up with that. Okay, right. That's right. He didn't. He really didn't have that smoking gun. He had incontrovertible evidence, according to him, and then it didn't turn out to be incontrovertible. In fact, it didn't even turn out to be evidence. So, fuck Adam Schiff. Hey, good morning, Johnny Hellcat, the original viewer, the very first viewer of the Morning Night Live. Nice to have you here, brother. All right. So anyway. Then they go in a little more about the scheme. All right, then the last one that I'll do for today, and there certainly will be plenty more. Durham's Russiagate report is damning for the media too. Oh, hell yes it is. Hell yes it is, because the media ate this up. It's funny. I think we look at the Jake Tapper clip where he was saying that this is devastating for. For the Trump Russia, hacks, whatever. Well, guess who one of the biggest Trump Russia hacks was? His employer, this is CNN. Of course, Rachel Maddow's probably really too, but you know what I mean? I mean, they were such bullshit. Anyway, Special Counsel John Durham dropped a bombshell on Monday. Russiagate, the biggest media story on the planet for 4 years, was never justified by the evidence. Oh, but they will. I'm still on Twitter. I'm watching a bunch of these people, anti-Trump people. But it really was. There was evidence. They did this and this and that, and there was evidence, and there's lots of evidence, and we saw it in the Mueller report. There was more evidence, and yada yada yada. Even though they didn't conclude the Mueller report. The Mueller report did not conclude that there was collusion. But anyway, according to Durham's scathing report, the FBI initiated its investigation of former President Donald Trump's 2016 campaign without sufficient proof of collusion and then ignored mounting contrary evidence. That's the bigger part. They ignored anything that might have been exculpatory. There was plenty. Durham criticized the FBI for relying on the later debunked Steele dossier to get a warrant to surveil Trump's campaign, for coziness with Hillary Clinton, Trump's Democratic opponent, and for repeatedly accepting information from anti-Trump sources, if not showing the same bias itself. Each of Durham's findings of FBI misconduct could be and have been applied to the corporate press, which breathlessly reported each twist in the FBI's false narrative and helped to drive Americans' politics off a cliff. Top of those, it was the reliance on the Steele dossier. Like the FBI, media outlets touted the most salacious allegations compiled by former British spy Christopher Steele on behalf of the Clinton campaign. They did so, to borrow a term of art, without evidence. Hello, Jay Pylon. What's up? So anyway, in fact, and they highlight Aaron Matei's post here. On April 2018, Jonathan Chait wrote in New York Magazine that I'm a pea lever. Get it? A pea lever. A pea lever. Get it? Russian hookers peeing on a bed or whatever. Hello, Jedi Ghost Bear. And you should be too. Chait wrote that an accumulation of evidence has tipped the balance from unlikely to likely that Trump was secretly recorded in Moscow in 2013 paying prostitutes to urinate on a bed. Ha! Jonathan Chait. What a fucktard. Anyway, even after the dossier and Steele himself were discredited, the media insisted the FBI investigation of Trump was super serious. Here's the New York Times. Donald Trump and his supporters have stepped up efforts to conflate the so-called Steele dossier with the Russia investigation in an attempt to show that the inquiry was a hoax. But that's not what the evidence indicates. Here's a look at the facts. Sure, ABC News. Christopher Steele contends that more evidence to support his disputed dossier claims may still surface so long as Donald Trump remains active in politics. Oh, may? May? Is that a weasel word? May? I don't think this book is finished, he tells George Stephanopoulos, by a long shot. Well, it's finished now, Chris. Sorry, dude. You're fucked in the head. And then so on and so forth. Lots of examples. But anyway, the media was totally and fully complicit in this 4 to even 6 years, because some of them are still doing it, of bullshit. So, those are 4 good articles that are in the links today. Again, remember, I always take all these links, put them on one page, and give you just a single link to get to all of them. Called a one-tab link at the end of the show during the outro. I'll drop in the chat. I'll drop in the description of the video. So if you can't find it in the chat later, you can always pop back to the video. And I also drop it on the Discord server, where I list all the shows there too, links to all the shows and all the sources. But it's a source list. The entire source list will be on the that one page with one link to it. So, all right, let's move on. Let's get into some just other news. There seems to be a concerted effort. I can't decide if it's just by Democrats or if it's by Democrats in the media, but they kind of want to get rid of Dianne Feinstein. And I don't know if does anyone know if Di-Fi is running for re-election in California? But anyway, isn't she like 96 years old? She's like old as heck, or 89. She's 89 years old, but has serious dementia. She's the one who had for 26 years, her driver was a Chinese spy. Never got any kind of censure or for that. She retired for sure. Okay, she is retiring. But her term is still, didn't she have still she's not in this next election cycle. She's the one after that. So she's got like 4 years left in her current term. Isn't it? I think so. Anyway, Feinstein responds to the question about her absence from Washington. So there's a couple different articles. This one from the Los Angeles Times, which, and just making her as feeble as she really is, isn't Feinstein did. No, she's not. She just went back to Congress recently. Schiff has taken her spot. Well, he hopes to. I think he has to get elected first, because she's not going to step down on her own. Okay, and so there was a lot of speculation when she was out on this leave because of health problems that she would resign, and then Gavin Newsom would appoint Adam Schiff to finish out her term, because I think in California they would appoint somebody, right? But she's back. She has returned to the Senate. And so now you're getting articles like this in the Los Angeles Times. Basically, they're wanting to step down before her term's over. With the help of a staff member, Dianne Feinstein rose from her wheelchair, gripped his arm, and walked onto the floor and cast her second vote of the week. She voted against a plan to nullify some criminal justice reforms in the District of Columbia, had recently passed, and then walked off the floor. Back in her wheelchair, she exited an elevator and was met by a reporter who asked about her health. Aren't you an eager one, she said. Feinstein, 89, returned last week after months away from the Senate after she recovered from shingles virus, a serious health concern that followed years of questions about her cognitive abilities. Her absence from Washington didn't derail the confirmation of President Biden's judicial nominations or the work of federal government, but it did cause angst among Democrats who worried that the slim margin of their majority could make their work difficult or impossible. Well, because Joe Manchin and what's-her-face from Arizona don't always go along to get along. So anyway, they have this article about this interview with her. But the thing is, you're seeing a lot of this in lefty newspapers. Again, here's another one. A brief, concerning conversation with Dianne Feinstein. Is this the same person, or is this... No, two different people interviewed her. And they're showing their concern. They're very concerned that Dianne Feinstein is. Oh, this is the same one. Okay, this is. Wait, it's not the same. It's not the same interviewer, but the same exact. Oh, I see. The Los Angeles Times was there reading about the report in Salon. So the Salon, Slate interviewed her, and the Los Angeles Times is reporting on the interview in Slate. But in any case, I've seen several of these articles asking about Dianne Feinstein. Should she be there? Should she step down? Blah, 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 blah. Democrats wanted to step down, yada, yada, yada. And, they kept what's-his-face, Byrd in the Senate for forever. They have Strom Thurmond stayed in the Senate forever, long past the time that they should have. At least in her case, she is not running for re-election again. She's had some serious mental capacity issues along with her physical ailments. So anyway, also in the news, this is wild. Nashville's Covenant School. Remember that school where the trans man, the woman identifying as trans, went up and shot up the place, and we're not getting the manifesto. Well, apparently, Nashville's Covenant School files a motion to stop the release of the shooter's manifesto. Now, that's a twist that the school itself is doing this because they have been stalling, to say the least, on releasing the manifesto. Now, it's funny they don't have this problem in the rare cases that it fits their white whale. Yes, the tranny shooter. Okay, I just said it. The white whale. Actual white supremacists, not the white Hispanic neo-Nazi, but actual white supremacists. They will never fail to release those. And usually, in this case, they're saying, well, it's for fear that they might trigger some copycats, whatever. Well, they never seem to worry about it when it's the other, when the ones they want to release, right? Hello, Chosen One, by the way. So, court filing made by the Covenant Schools legal team on Monday seeks to intervene in ongoing lawsuits that demand public release of shooter Audrey Hale's writings. The National Police Association and Tennessee Firearms Association have separately filed suits against the city with the same objective. So, interesting. Hello, Shrapnel. These lawsuits emerged as Metro Nashville Police Department was in a process of reviewing the writings referred to as a manifesto to determine their potential for public disclosure. The school argues that the release of the information could pose security and safety risk for the school, its staff, and students. Now, apparently, now they haven't released any of it, but there's been description of it that's saying that it had plans for going to multiple schools and had the plans for the schools. So I can understand why they might want to redact specific information that would allow people to copycat their event and do it again. But it's weird that they would hold this back in this case where they don't in other cases. It's just, well, there's why. We know why. The school argues that the release of information the motion further asserts that the requested records in the lawsuits may contain sensitive information owned by the school, such as faculty schematics and confidential data of employees and students. Well, obviously, they can redact those things. So I'm not sure why they're doing this, but the outcome of the case could hinder our ability to protect our interests and the privacy of our employees and students, states the motion. Again, those things can be redacted, and they often do in these kinds of things. So anyway, let's see. They linked a report here. Let's see what this video report is.
So I didn't hear you say that again, sir.
Is there any reason to believe that how she identifies has any motive for targeting the school?
We can give you that at a later time. There is some theory to that. We're investigating all the leads, and once we know exactly, we'll let you know.
Oh, well, there's a reason.
Was it a targeted attack?
It was.
Was it a target attack? It was. So they do know some things. But in this case, this rare case, well, actually, it's the third transgender person, or, well, I'll just call him transgender because everyone else calls him that. Because that non-binary kid says he's non-binary. Well, if you're an activist, that's transgender also. So anyway, it was targeted. Shocker, right? Shocker. All right. Also in news, Soros-funded St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Garner resigns earlier. Now, there's a couple problems here because anytime the name Soros is invoked, there are people out there who say it's an anti-Semitic dog whistle. Okay? Anytime. Always happens all the time. And I want to make a statement about that I happened to write on the in the annals of Twitter as opposed to the anals of Twitter. Why do I do that? Let me make something very clear, and this is a news flash for anyone who will listen. Newsflash for anyone who needs to hear it. Mentioning the political things George Soros actually does and has proven connection to is not anti-Semitic. No more than mentioning the name Coke is anti-Catholic. Just because George Soros is a non-practicing Jew from Hungary and had some interesting actions during World War II. Speaking his name has nothing to do with his Jewishness or lack thereof. It has nothing to do with his religion at all. It has to do with the things he does with his money, what he supports, and the assholes that he has been able to get into office. So, I am making that disclaimer right here, right now. And before I move on, thank you, Jim Das Hobotep again, sponsoring the show once more time with a small bullet, who says somebody got to that school and said, we will release everything if you don't file a suit against its release. I would bet on that. Oh, damn. That is, you may have a point there. You might have a point there. That very much could be. So, All right, so George Soros, Kim Gardner in St. Louis, she's one of those Soros paid for state's attorneys or attorney generals or whatever, the ones that like to they'll prosecute things that are minor, but they will not prosecute people based on their identities, so to speak. George Soros funded St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner abruptly resigned on Tuesday, weeks before she was set to leave office. Missouri Republican Governor Mike Parson's office confirmed that they had received an email from Gardner announcing she will be leaving office towards the end of the day, KSDK reported. The circuit attorney, who has worked at St. Louis County prosecuting attorney with St. Louis prosecuting county attorney, St. Louis County prosecuting attorney, easy for me to say, and his office to ensure a comprehensive transition plan is in place to handle cases that prioritizes public safety. According to the news release, effective immediately, Kimberly M. Gardner will end her service as the City of St. Louis Circuit Attorney. Ms. Gardner has been committed to serving the people of St. Louis and has done all she can to ensure a smooth transition. Further inquiries about ongoing cases can be directed to St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, the release said. So she was under fire what? Gardner was under fire like last when a St. Louis judge appointed a special attorney to handle a case against her. According to the St. Louis Dispatch, Judge Michael Noble appointed a special prosecutor after Gardner and her assistant Christopher DeSilitis failed to appear in court for an assault case. Oh, that's right. Remember, she absolutely just completely missed a case that a guy went free because the judge's like, I have to dismiss the case. No, the city attorney didn't show up to prosecute this person. The judge alleged there was evidence that suggests both Gardner and DeSilitis were guilty of indirect criminal contempt, as DeSilitis failed to attend both a trial and a subsequent hearing. It appears that Ms. Gardner has complete indifference and conscious disregard for the judicial process, said the judge, according to the news outlet. Gardner did not make an appearance at Noble's hearing and instead sent her deputy, Rob Hook, who was unable to provide satisfactory answers to the judge's queries regarding contempt allegations. So they blew off a case. I think it was an assault case or something like that. So, and she had a tendency not to pursue any assault cases, particularly if they happen to be in politically motivated incidents, or if they were, if the demographics were incorrect. She tended to let things go for various types of people. So anyway, don't let the big wooden door hit you in the ass, Kim Gardner, for all I care. All right, in the New York Post, I talked about this weeks ago. But, apparently the New York Post has just figured this out, or maybe the lawsuit's just happening. But at the University of Wyoming, sorority sisters say they live in fear of trans member. Now, I'm pretty sure we talked about this. A bunch of them went on Megyn Kelly. Holy moly. Let's see what this, let's look at the Megyn Kelly clip here. So here's the deal. Here's what's happening. And I know I talked about this before. So at the University of Wyoming, the Kappa Kappa Gamma sorority, accepted a member who is from the trans side of town. Okay. And this trans member, this male who's not, doesn't look like your typical sorority sister, probably because he's a dude, apparently was watching them undress and in states of, hardness and so forth, so-called, whatever. And so they're suing the sorority for even letting him in the sorority, because I don't think they really wanted him in the sorority. So here we go. A group of sorority sisters who are suing the University of Wyoming for accepting a transgender woman into their group have broken cover. Oh, they were doing it anonymously at first. Now they said, fuck it, we're going to tell it to the world. I got it. They've broken cover to describe how they live in constant fear in our home after the hulking student has become physically aroused around them. I'm not playing the music for that one because that's just not right. The 7 women from Kappa Kappa Gamma House have filed a lawsuit against the university and Artemis Langford, 21, a 6'2", 260-pound trans student who joined their chapter in September 2022. Langford, referred to under the male pseudonym Terry Smith in the suit, has been living outside the sorority house and was expected to move in the coming year. No pun intended, according to the Cowboy State Daily. However, the student who is referred to as he and him in the suit still often stays for meals and attends events with the women, their attorney told Megyn Kelly on her podcast Monday. Now, should we do the clip? Because it's Megyn Kelly. Everyone likes Megyn Kelly, right? I mean, not everyone likes Megyn Kelly, but let's play the clip with the sound. Oh, no, it's one of those music clips. I don't want to do that. Is there a part where they talk? Let's see. Let's try here.
All of the bathrooms are shared spaces. There are about 3, 4 if you count the guest bathroom. And they are shared spaces. There are no private changing areas for when you shower. There are no locks on the showers. And it's very open and vulnerable.
Oh my goodness. And this person's moving into the sorority house next year?
What's interesting about that, Megan, is that there has been an exemption granted for him, for his safety, but not for these young women.
Oh, that's their attorney. So, someone says the sorority rejected him. The college demanded he be accepted. Oh, I had no idea. So anyway, and then again down here, it's weird. It's a weird gut-wrenching feeling that every time I leave my room, there's a possibility that I'll walk past him in the hall. One of the sorority sisters, Hannah, told Kelly, it's weird just feeling that, just to know that I could run into him anytime. He has full access to the house, but this just goes to show we need women's spaces for that reason. So anyway, let's go down here. I want to see what else. Another student said the situation is particularly distressing because some of the sisters have been sexually assaulted or sexually harassed and want to feel safe inside the home. So some girls live in constant fear in their home, and our home is supposed to be a safe space. The young woman who, like other students, was not identified by name. So I want to see here. Oh, do they have? There he is. This is him right back here. Oh my God. Yeah, he's a big, heavy-set dude, much taller than most of them. Like he's 6'2". Yeah, this dude right here. He's a typical sorority sister. Let's see. In another disturbing incident, the lawsuit alleges Langford has even become physically aroused. Mr. Smith has, while watching members enter sorority house, had an erection visible through his leggings, the suit says. What's this dude wearing leggings? I don't know. So the plaintiffs alleged the National Kappa Kappa Gamma sorority, its national council president, and Langford all pressured the local chapter to breach sorority rules. They also alleged that sorority ignored official bylaws when inducting Langford and instead referred to a 2018 guide for supporting our LGBTQIA plus members, saying that Kappa Kappa Gamma is a single gender organization. Not single sex, but single gender. Carrie Cottrell Poole, executive director of the sorority, has told the Associated Press that the lawsuit contains numerous false allegations without specifying them. She added that the sorority does not discriminate against gender identity. Women are asking the judge to avoid Langford's membership and to award unspecified damage. The Post has reached out to the University of Wyoming and Kappa Kappa Gamma for comments. So there you go. So that's a little bit of an update. Now these women who were originally filing this suit anonymously have done it publicly. All right, got a few more, and then we got to get out of here. In the news, apparently in New Hampshire, 2 Republicans on DeSantis's New Hampshire endorsement list say they still back Trump. Florida governor rolled out a list of more than 50 endorsements from New Hampshire GOP state legislators ahead of his expected presidential bid. But in late April, Juliette Harvey Bolia, a Republican New Hampshire state representative, was one of dozens of elected officials whose endorsements former President Donald Trump announced at a packed rally in Manchester. Wait a minute. What's this? No, wait a minute. Okay. On Tuesday, officials at Never Back Down, the super PAC backing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, said Harvey Bolia is throwing her support to their guy. She's one of 4 New Hampshire legislators. The others are Representative Brian Cole, Lisa Smart, and Deborah DeSimone, who never backed down, identified as flipping from Trump to DeSantis as it rolled out its endorsements from 51 lawmakers in the state who signed a pledge to back DeSantis. But that's not how Harvey Bolia sees it. I'm endorsing both, she said in an interview. DeSantis has a lot of promise in the future, and Trump is great now. Now, okay, is this... Okay, so this is... Does that headline seem deceiving to you? Because maybe not. It's technically correct, but when if people just read the headline would think, oh, these two Republicans on DeSantis endorsement list say they still back Trump. That makes it sound like they don't back DeSantis at all. It's a poorly written headline. Got to tell you, because this person says, oh, I endorse both. I was so incredibly proud to join many of my colleagues in endorsing President Donald Trump last month, and my support for him has not changed, Smart said in a statement provided to NBC News by the Trump campaign. I'm dismayed at the games being played by Never Back Down, and I will not be participating in any activities with Ron DeSantis. Well, wait a minute. I endorse both, but then these are games. Well, make up your mind. Make up your mind. Anyway, it's in the interest of our media, who fully backs whoever the Democratic nominee is come 2024. I'm not convinced it's going to be Joe Biden. That they play up the what do they call it? Sowing discord between the two candidates on the Republican side. So that's all they're doing. They love sowing discord. Plus, it makes for better news, right? It's more interesting if there's a car crash than if it's two cars just cruising down the road smoothly, right? So anyway, and now a couple interesting little Twitter threads that I'm putting in the links today. One is something called political shock, or no, I'm sorry, not shock, political sock. Now I don't know who this person is. This is not I don't know if this is a Democrat or Republican. I have no idea. I think it's a more Republican style. But anyway, I found it interesting, because this is just I don't know how many people actually have this reaction, but I thought this was interesting. Someone who says, I was so disgusted by the January 6th riot that I deleted my Twitter account. I wrote introspective pieces on wanting to be a part of the solution, and I never liked Trump, and I thought Biden beat him. The Durham report is 100 times worse than January 6th. It didn't reveal a handful of nuts getting out of hand and stealing a lectern. It revealed our highest law enforcement agency trying to undo an election with zero evidence. It didn't disrupt a formal nomination proceeding for 3 hours. It disrupted a presidency for 3 years. If you are a Democrat, you should feel far worse about the Russia-Trump investigation than you did about January 6th. You should be far angrier. You should be far more concerned about democracy. So, that's interesting. Now, now, of course, there's going to be detractors from this statement. With all due respect, you are trusting one of Trump's appointees. Also, that Trump attempted to incite a coup should alone reflect that Durham's conclusions are not trustworthy. No. See, Donald Trump did not try to incite a coup, you freaking moron. All right, and then the other one was this one from Myth-Informed Mike, or MK Milwaukee, I'm sorry. And this is that Miller Lite. Now, because people are kind of dunking on Miller Lite right now because they put out some really weird woke ad. And it wasn't so bad. I mean, they're just talking about how some woman who's working at Miller Lite that said, we shouldn't sell beer with women in bikinis because, it's just degrading and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I just got to think, who's your base beer drinkers? Anyway, so some Republicans are saying, oh yeah, we should boycott Miller Lite too, just like we did Bud Light. And I'm like, I would boycott Bud Light and Miller Lite, I guess, but because they keep saying you should boycott these things, but in reality, I feel a little left out as a black conservative. Okay, that's the only time you ever hear me say that because I'm kind of making a joke here. I kind of feel out as a black conservative. All these people boycotting Miller Lite and Bud Light because I don't drink either of those, things that taste like mule piss. But anyway, so someone put this. Let's watch this diversity, equity, and inclusion internal Miller Company messaging for their employees. So we're going to watch this one. Okay, here we go. Let me put this on the screen. This is how they tell their employees about diversity, equity, and inclusion at the Miller Company, which I don't know why there's a big Coors sign there, but here we go. Come on, play. Oh, wait.
At Molson Coors.
That's right. Molson Coors bought Miller, didn't they? So it's all one big company now. Okay, so at Molson Coors.
We know that diversity, equity, and inclusion matter.
Does it now? It doesn't. The thing I hate about this, just get everyone through grade school and high school, and diversity will happen. That's kind of where I'm at on this. But I've talked about the ladder, my ladder theory, I guess. Anyway.
Diversity is a good thing.
Okay.
Because everyone is unique.
Yes, you have a diverse array of products,
points of views, and the brands they identify with.
Yeah.
Our point of view is that our employees need to be as diverse as our consumers, who are as diverse as our products.
Wait. What? That should happen naturally, depending on where you have your plants. And you know what? I don't know why. Look, diversity, when you have an end product, the most important thing is your end product. I don't think a person who drinks a beer goes, wow, did a brother handle this bottle cap? Did my Mexican homie, are they the ones who fixed the machine that broke down when they were, filling the bottles? Do you think a person who drinks a beer for any point in their enjoyed experience of drinking that beer ever think about, well, gosh, I sure hope that the company that made this beer has the same racial makeup as the area I live in? I don't think so. I don't think anyone gives a fuck. The end product is the most important. So anyway, I don't know why the employees need to be as diverse as the people who apply to be in there that are qualified to work wherever you have this operation going. That's the way I see it.
We believe an inclusive culture drives stronger engagement.
Engagement on what? You're making beer. You're making an end product. What engagement? What are you talking about?
Improves business performance. The role of diversity.
No, it doesn't. No, it does not improve business. How does diversity include business performance? You're selling beer. All you want to do is have a good beer that beer drinkers will drink, or you con them into drinking it, thinking they're going to lose weight because they're drinking a light beer instead of, a good beer. Fuck.
Equity and inclusion is the responsibility of all employees.
No, it's not. Wait a minute. The role of diversity, equity, and inclusion is the responsibility of all employees every single day. Look, this brother on the screen here, how is it his responsibility to hire other people who look like him? He doesn't do the hiring. Equity? What equity? If he's over there, in the hop stirring area and he's doing that, how is there equity between him and the guys who run the computers that run the machines? There is no equity. They have completely different jobs. What are you talking about? And how is it his responsibility to make that happen? It's not. Holy shit.
Every single day. We want to be known for being a place where all employees can thrive.
What?
Unmatched personal and professional growth and developing.
Really? The janitors who clean the toilets at the end of the night, you're worried they want their personal and professional growth? Good God.
Exceptional leaders of people and business performance. We know that our actions should follow our words. As part of our 2021 to 2023 workforce strategy, we've challenged ourselves to increase our representation of professionals of color both in the U.S. and Canada. We're also committed.
Why? Not that it's a bad thing. If it happens naturally, okay. Here's what you do, Miller Company. Here's what you do. You could do it really quick. Move your plant to Baltimore. Okay, the heart of Baltimore. Move to the heart of Baltimore, and then, but before you do that, you might want to make sure you go into the schools, and maybe fund some projects to get the kids to get to a place where they can read, because none of the kids in the Baltimore schools are proficient in reading math at the grade level. So you got to get there first. But if you want more people of color, put the plants where the people of color are. Right? Baltimore, okay? Maybe, go back into Detroit, okay? That's the only way you're going to do it. You can't,
To increasing the representation of women in our workplace.
Why? The only way you increase the representation of women is if more women apply. What representation? What is the percentage of women who are applying to work in a beer factory? Okay? That's the only way you increase the representation is by only hiring women. Because I bet you 19 out of 20 applications to work at a beer company are men. Because women don't want to work in beer companies for the most part. This is so crazy.
To be reflective of the market where we work and live.
And also, I would say of your product, I would guess that it's 60-70% men drinking your product, except maybe on college campuses. I don't know. But for the most part, men are beer drinkers. Women drink other drinks. And why? Who knows? Maybe it's marketing. I don't know.
We expect to achieve $1 billion of spend with diverse suppliers in the Americas. Not only are we on track to achieve these goals, but we also recognize our...
And why? So you're going to limit your suppliers by figuring out how to just use diverse suppliers. Is that what you're doing? Okay. No white people. Is that what it is? This is crazy.
With some other objectives. We have provided education and dedicated training to all employees to increase their awareness and understanding of how diversity, equity, and inclusion are embedded into our culture.
Okay.
We've improved our talent acquisition strategy with an emphasis to attract.
The only way you do it is start when they're kindergartners. You can't force people to want to do this.
We have maintained an annual $1.5 million investment in community organizations focused on social justice, equity, and empowerment.
Oh, good Lord.
As we look forward, Molson Coors will continue to make diversity, equity, and inclusion part of everything that we do, from how we work together to how we grow our company. We are excited in the role we are playing to unite people to unlock their unlimited potential. It is a worthy journey.
Hey, white guy, look at that.
Join us.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, that's Molson Coors. I think they own. That's Miller Lite. They own Miller Lite. All right, I gotta go, guys. Thanks for being here. What is the other one on here? There's a Washington Post article on. Jake Sullivan's, the National Security Advisor home there was an intruder. It's under investigation. There's also an article on. Teenagers would give up the right to vote to keep social media, according to a survey. That's something Vivek, what's his face, put out. And there's a funny Babylon Bee article in the links. So that's what's going to be in the links today. I got to go. Thanks for being here today on the Morning Night Live. I'm here Monday through Friday around 9 o'clock Eastern, although it's been more around 9:30, but I'll try to start getting here earlier on time again. It's kind of dependent on what's going on at my job, and it's for whatever reason they have us working later. So anyway, thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hit the like button before you go. Share the stream even afterwards. It helps a lot. Couple of you do that. And then PDogNight.live, 24 hours a day. That's where you can donate the show. Thanks for big sponsor today, Jimmy Das Hotep, the superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir. And that's it. Thanks for being here. Time for me to go. My name is P Dog Knight. They done clapping? And as soon as I can click the right button, I am out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.